Hi there, it's Tamara, and this practice is a foundational practice. Okay, so we'll start lying on our backs. You can have either your knees bent with your feet planted, or you can come into a classic Shavasana pose, corpse pose, with the legs about as wide as the mat, with your arms a little wider than the mat, and with the palms turned up so you can allow the shoulders to drop back. And then either with the eyes open or closed, your choice. Just bring your awareness to your breath and the feel of it moving in and out of the body. And then let's start to be a little more deliberate with the breath. So increasing the length of the inhale through the nose, matching the length of the exhale through the nose. Notice how as you inhale, there's a sense of expansion. The chest is rising up and out. And as you exhale, there's a sense of release as the chest falls back down. So we'll move steadily through both the inhale, which is expanding and energizing, and the exhale with a sense of release. Now, if your legs are straight, go ahead and bend your knees and plant your feet. And hug the knees into the chest. And again, on your breath, as you inhale, squeeze the knees towards the chest. As you exhale, keep the knees, but let the squeeze go. A couple more times like that. Inhale, squeeze in. And exhale, release. The last time, inhale, squeeze here. As you exhale, release. Holding on to your right knee. As you inhale, straighten your left along the floor. Squeeze the right knee to the right shoulder. As you exhale, stay here. And then switch legs. Inhale, hug the left knee to the left shoulder. Release the right leg along the floor. And as you exhale, release. One more cycle. Inhale, squeeze in. Extend the left leg. Exhale, release. And then last time, inhale, hug the left knee in. And exhale, let that go. One more time, hug both knees in. And clasp your hands or interlace your fingers. And again, squeeze the knees in towards the chest. And then you can grab a knee with each hand and start to curl in, gaining a little momentum as you rock back and forth. And then eventually rock and roll yourself all the way up. Once you come to a seated position, come onto all fours. Have your hands roughly shoulder distance apart. Fan your fingers so that you can really root down with the entire palm. And then on an inhale, arch your back. So belly towards the floor, chin level to the floor. There can be a tendency to lead with the chin. So see if you can avoid that by dropping the chin level to the floor and instead lead with the chest. Pull the chest through the opening of the arms. Now as you exhale, do the opposite. Push the floor away with the palms, round the back. Send the shoulder blades to the ceiling. Let the crown of the head drop towards the floor. And then we'll link the breath and the movement. So as you inhale, arch your back. Pull your chest towards the front of the mat. As you exhale, round your back. Let your tailbone drop to the floor. Again, inhale, shoulder blades press in. As you exhale, shoulder blades press to the ceiling. One last time. Inhale the breath of expansion. Feel the chest move away from the navel. Exhale, breath of contraction or release. Draw the crown of the head down, the tailbone down. Come back to all fours. Step your right foot back. Plug the ball of the foot into the floor so that you feel your kneecap lift and the thigh engage. push the floor away with the palms so you lift up into the shoulder blades. Keep pressing back through the right heel. And now as you exhale, step your left heel back. Now, if you feel yourself sink through the hips, bring your hips a little higher than mine maybe. And then direct your tailbone to your heels so you feel compact at your center. Take an inhale to stay here. As you exhale, downward facing dog, bending your knees. So often the first down dog can feel really intense on the backs of the legs, especially if you've been sitting a lot. So take the hamstrings, the backs of the leg muscles, out of the equation by bending the knees. Push the floor away with the palms and see if you can get longer from the palms to the sitting bones. Let the head hang freely. And then if your knees are bent, go ahead and start to straighten them. On your next inhale, rock yourself forward to plank position again. As you exhale, lower the knees to the mat and point your toes or untuck your toes. Use one more breath to lengthen your front body. Pull your chest forward. As you exhale, keep your elbows moving in towards the rib cage and slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Once you land, keep your hands right next to your low ribs. Pin your elbows into the midline, dropping your forehead to the floor. Tops of the feet pressing down into the floor. Lift your kneecaps so your quads engage. See if you can release the butt muscles a little bit. They may want to take over when we come into this back bend. So keep the tops of the feet heavy on the floor. Keep the legs engaged by lifting your kneecaps. Now pin your elbows into the midline. Feel how that lifts the shoulders away from the floor. A little bit of pressure on the palms as you inhale, the head, the shoulders, the chest up, and then exhale, lower down. So my belly stays on the floor. Inhale, lift up. This is called baby cobra. And exhale, lower down. 2 more times like that. Inhale, squeeze your elbows in towards the midline. Exhale, lower down. Resist the urge to lead with the chin. Instead, keep the back of the neck long and lead with the chest. Exhale, lower down. Press the floor away, come through tabletop, all fours. One more time, tuck your toes underneath you. Send your hips back and up, downward facing dog, either bent knees or straight. Couple of breaths here to press the palms down into the floor, to press the hips back and up. On an inhale, come high on your toes, look to the front of the mat. Step your feet up between your hands. Take as many steps as you need to. So if that's 3, 4, 5, might not look like mine. Once you land, take your hands on your shins. And instead of pressing your shins back, do that, but also resist your shins into your hands. So you can have a micro bend in the knees here. As you inhale, come up partway to a flat back and pull your chest forward. As you exhale, keeping your knees bent, round down over the legs. On an inhale, come through your flat back. Reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. As you exhale, lower your arms. Now standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. Take a moment to feel the feet planted into the floor, and then gently ascend the crown of the head to the ceiling. Now I like to turn my palms forward so that my shoulders open so they're in line with the side body. That's not this. It's just a bit of an opening here to counteract where most of us are most of the time, which is here. So palms facing straight ahead to find more length across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. Now, arms can go straight ahead of you or out to the side and up. As you inhale, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Breath of expansion. As you exhale, lower your arms down. Again, same thing. Inhale, lift up from the waist to the fingertips. As you exhale, lower down. This time, half salute. Inhale, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Now hinging at your hips, fold forward over the legs, bending your knees as much as you need to. You'll notice I bend my knees quite a bit. Inhale, come to that flat back position, come up halfway. Exhale, fold in, release. Inhale, fingertips to the ceiling, come up through the flat back. And exhale, release your arms. That much again. I'm calling that a half salute because we're about to go through the sun salutes and I just want to break it down a little bit. So I call this the half salute. As you inhale, root down through the feet, rebound up through the fingertips. Exhale, fold in, bending your knees. Inhale, come up partway, flat back. Exhale, fold over the legs one more time. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. And exhale, release your arms. Okay, moving forward. Inhale, sweep open, breath of expansion. Exhale, fold over the legs, breath of release. Inhale, flat back, breath of expansion, pull your chest forward. Now bend your knees quite a bit and slide your hands as close to your feet as you can, as opposed to at the top of your mat. Now, this may not happen right away, but see if you could get your hands back as close to the sides of your feet as possible. They may not lie flat until you step back. That's okay. Keep the sense of energetically moving forward through your chest. And let's start by stepping the left foot back, keeping your right foot where it is. Micro bend the back knee and keep pulling your chest forward. You may need to come to your fingertips. Now, as you exhale, slowly and gently drop the back knee towards the floor. It doesn't have to go all the way down. And then slowly and gently straighten by an inch or two. Don't lock it out so it doesn't have to go all the way straight. Again, exhale, drop the knee towards the floor. Tailbone stays heavy. And inhale, press the heel, the back heel, towards the wall behind you. One last time. Exhale, drop the knee down. Inhale, straighten up. And now exhale, bend it quite a bit so you can push off the ball of the back foot. Step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, flat back, come up part way. Exhale, fold in and down. Inhale, fingertips to the ceiling. And exhale, release. Other side. Inhale, sweep open, lift up. Exhale, fold in and down. Inhale, chest forward, weight forward. Hands as close to the sides of your feet as you can get. Step your right foot back, plug the ball of the foot into the floor. Come to your fingertips if that helps. And if the floor is too low, then just bring your hands up onto your left thigh. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, gently bend your knee towards the floor. Keep plugging the ball of the back foot into the floor. As you inhale, send your right heel back. As you exhale, drop the knee down. Last time, send your right heel back. Straighten your knee a little bit. As you exhale, bend the knee. Bend quite a bit so you can push off the ball of the right foot. Step your right foot up to meet your left. Hands to shins, come up part way. And exhale, fold in and down. Inhale all the way to standing. I'm coming through the flat back as opposed to a rounded back. So pull the chest forward, reach your fingertips up. And exhale, release your arms. Okay. Full-ish sun salute. Inhale, sweep open. Exhale, fold in, release. Inhale, pull your chest forward. Plant your hands next to your feet. This time, step both feet back. So start with your right foot back. Followed by the left, you'll be in plank position. Shoulders just ahead of your wrist creases. Plug the balls of the feet into the floor so that your thigh bones rebound to the ceiling. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, drop your knees, point your toes. Take an extra inhale to pull your chest forward without sinking through your hips. So keep your hips where they are. Just lengthen from the navel, the belly button, to the chest. And then with your elbows moving towards your rib cage, lower slowly as you can. Once you land, forehead to the floor. Inhale, hug your elbows in, lift up to baby cobra. Now we want the muscles of the back to create the back bend as opposed to the strength of the arms. We also want the legs engaged for the back bend. So tops of feet heavy. Lift your kneecaps so your thighs are engaged. Lift your chest one more inch. Next inhale, lift your hands. And then exhale, lower your hands, lower your chest. Push through all fours, tuck your toes. Come to downward facing dog. Knees straight or bent. Head hanging freely. Few more cycles of breath here. Root down through your palms to rebound your hips back and up. Inhale high on the toes, look between your hands. Exhale, step your feet there. Inhale, come up flat back. Exhale, fold in and down. Inhale through your flat back up to standing. And exhale, lower your arms. Step open to the right, facing the long side of your mat. So I'm going to mirror you. So my left, your right. Rotate the thigh and the right hip socket so that the right foot runs parallel to the long side of your mat. Then spin your back heel back just a bit so your front heel bisects your back inner arch. Ish. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be exact. Take your hands to your hips. So you'll notice with the back toes pointing slightly towards the front that your back hip, your back thigh, and your back hip are actually pointed towards the front leg. So you're not trying to open this hip. Keep the hands on the hips for now. Shoulders over the hips. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bend into warrior two, stacking the knee over the ankle. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, bend down. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, bend down. Last time, inhale, straighten up. Exhale, bend down. Inhale, straighten up. Heading to triangle pose. Release your arms to shoulder height. Reach your right arm out and up. Direct your front sitting bone towards your back heel. So notice how I'm side bending over my front thigh. Then bring the hand to the shin. If you have props at home, you can use your hand on a block or fingertips to the floor. Root down through the bottom hand and rebound up through the top. Press your feet gently apart to stabilize in the foundation of the pose. So my elbow is just out, my shoulder is coming up around my ear. So if you also have your shin or your hand, whatever it's on, this may be happening for you as well. Draw your elbow in, release your shoulder blade down your back. Take an exhale to stay here. Get grounded through the feet. On an inhale, come all the way back up. Keep your arms where they are. One more time. Warrior two. Look out over the right fingertips. As I root down through my feet, I ascend the crown of the head to the ceiling, trying to find length in two directions. Take an exhale to stay, an inhale to straighten, hands to your hips, parallel your feet. My mat's gotten a little wonky. Okay, left leg turns open, right heel spins back. So this back hip, back thigh rolls towards the front. Hands to your hips, take an inhale to stay. Shoulders stacking over your hips as you bend into the front knee, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Last time, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Reach your arms out to shoulder height. Reach your left arm out and up. Legs are straight. As you side bend over the front leg, bottom hand to shin or floor or block outside your left foot. Right fingertips reaching towards the ceiling directly above your left. Gently pressing your feet apart so you can root down into the foundation of the pose and find a little more stability. Take an exhale to stay here. Push down through the floor as you come all the way up. Keep these arms, stack your shoulders over your hips. Exhale again, warrior two. Couple of breaths here. Notice if your left knee is buckling in towards the midline or towards the big toe. If it is, send it towards the pinky toe side of the foot. One more exhale to root down. As you inhale, come up, parallel the feet, hands to your hips. Take an inhale, lift your chest away from your navel, and then hinge at your hips. And I'm manually doing that with my hands there. Keep the hands on your hips as the crown of the head hangs towards the floor. Pin your elbows in, feeling the spread from shoulder to shoulder. And again, if you feel this in the back, or it's too intense on the backs of the legs, bend your knees as much as you need to. And again, a nice little trick for stabilizing is even though your feet stay fixed or planted, gently press them apart. Just notice how that can activate the outer hips. Root down through your feet on an inhale. Come through your flat back. Come all the way to standing. Release your arms, bend your knees, toe heel back together. Come back to the front of the mat. It's gotten a little wonky. Okay. So one full vinyasa. One definition of vinyasa is linking breath and movement. And then we'll come onto the back. As you inhale, sweep your fingertips to the ceiling. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, flat back, come up halfway. Exhale, hands either side of the feet, step to plank. Take an extra breath here, root down through the balls of the feet. Exhale your knees down, then point your toes. Extra breath to find length along the front body. Exhale all the way down to the floor. Drop your forehead down. Kneecaps lifted so the legs are engaged as you lift your chest. Take an extra inhale to lift your palms. Exhale, hands to the floor, chest to the floor. Press yourself through all fours. Tuck your toes, last time. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale to stay here. As you exhale, drop your knees, cross your ankles, and sit behind your feet. Come all the way onto your back. Okay, with hands, palms flat, or you can grab the outside of your mat. Have your feet about hips distance apart. So what I mean by that is locate your frontal hip bones, those bony protrusions, and that's essentially where you want your feet, but be in the ballpark. One tendency in bridge pose, which is the pose we're about to do, is for the toes to turn out. So turn the toes in and the heels out instead, so you're slightly pigeon-toed. Have the heels, general rule of thumb, is close enough that you can graze them with the backs of your fingertips. That's in order to stack your knees over your heels once you're in the pose. Now start by tucking your tailbone. So lift your tailbone away from the floor. Let that motivate the back bend as you lift up into bridge pose, coming all the way up. And then as you exhale, start at the upper spine and come all the way down. Again, curl the tailbone in, lift from the low back. Now press the feet into the floor to do the work. And as you exhale, lower down. One more time like that. So really important to use the legs. Tuck the tailbone in, lift from the low back, and then root down through the feet to send the hips to the ceiling. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. Keeping your left foot where it is. Hug your right knee into the chest, interlacing your fingers behind your thigh. Flex your foot and press the foot to the ceiling. Now micro bend in the knee as you exhale, and inhale, push the ceiling away. As you exhale, bend the right knee. As you inhale, press the sole of the foot to the ceiling. Last time, bend the knee and press the foot to the ceiling. Now just for a breath, press your thigh bone into your palms. Press your palms into your thigh bones. Create resistance. And then exhale, let that go. And bend your knee. Place your foot back on the floor. Hug the left knee and interlace behind the thigh. As you inhale, press the sole of the foot to the ceiling. As you exhale, bend the knee. As you inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten. And exhale to bend. Last time. And inhale to straighten. Now resist thigh into hands, hands into thigh. Take a big inhale here. And exhale. Let that go. Let the shoulders drop back. And then release the left foot down. Take a moment here. Feeling the feet on the floor. Feeling the hips on the floor. The back lying on the floor. And the back of the head resting heavily on the floor. And then release your arms if they were on your belly, as mine were. Palms up so the shoulders can drop back. And release the legs so they're at least as wide as your mat. And here you are in corpse pose, Shavasana. Now, I would recommend at least 5 minutes in the final resting pose. Take longer if you like. And thanks for watching.